Welcome back to my channel. Today we have a scary bedtime story about someone who moved into a haunted Victorian house called the Crescent Manor in Hollowbrook. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more scary stories. Darkness had draped itself over the town of Hollowbrook, casting eerie shadows across the landscape. As I lay in bed, the soft glow of the moon filtered through my curtains, illuminating the room with an ethereal light. My heart raced, not from excitement, but from a sense of unease that seemed to crawl beneath my skin. I had just moved into Crescent Manor, an old Victorian house that stood at the edge of town, its towering spires and ornate architecture shrouded in mystery. Despite the grandeur of the house, an air of foreboding clung to its walls, as if the very structure held secrets it longed to whisper. As I nestled beneath the covers, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Every creak of the floorboards, every whisper of the wind outside, sent a shiver down my spine. I closed my eyes, hoping to find solace in the realm of dreams, but my mind was plagued by images of hidden corridors and ghostly figures. Hours seemed to stretch into eternity as sleep eluded me. Just when I thought I might drift into slumber, a faint whisper reached my ears. It was a delicate sound, like the soft rustling of paper or the murmur of distant voices. My heart quickened, and I sat up, straining to listen. The whisper grew more distinct, a haunting melody of syllables that danced just beyond the realm of comprehension. It seemed to emanate from the walls themselves, weaving through the air like an invisible thread. Fear gnawed at my chest, but a strange curiosity compelled me to investigate. Cautiously, I slipped out of bed and padded across the room, my footsteps barely making a sound on the plush carpet. The whisper seemed to guide me, leading me down the hallway and toward a door that stood slightly ajar. The air grew colder as I approached, and a chill ran down my spine. The room beyond was dimly lit by the moonlight filtering through lace curtains. Antique furniture adorned the space, and dust motes danced in the air, caught in the beam of moonlight. I scanned the room, searching for the source of the whisper, when movement in the corner caught my eye. A figure stood there, partially obscured by shadows. My heart raced as I tried to discern its features, but it remained elusive, like a phantom from a dream. The whisper grew louder, its words swirling around me, and I realized that the figure was trying to communicate. With trembling lips, I spoke aloud. "Who are you? What do you want?" The figure's head turned slightly, as if acknowledging my words, but no voice escaped its lips. The whisper continued, the words now forming into sentences that seemed to echo in my mind. It was as if the figure's thoughts were being projected directly into my consciousness. "You've awakened me," the voice echoed, its tone a mixture of longing and sorrow. "Awakened you from what?" I asked, my voice quivering. "From the darkness that held me captive," the figure replied, its words a haunting refrain. A chill coursed through me, and I took a hesitant step back. The room felt oppressive, as if the walls themselves were closing in around me. I turned to leave, but the door slammed shut with a resounding thud, trapping me inside. Panic gripped me as I turned back to the figure, its form now illuminated by an otherworldly light. Its face was gaunt, its eyes hollow pools of darkness. It extended a hand toward me, and a mixture of fear and curiosity propelled me to take it. As our hands touched, a surge of images flooded my mind, flashes of a bygone era, of joy and tragedy intermingled. The figure had been a resident of Crescent Manor long before me, its life cut short by a mysterious and tragic event. It had lingered, trapped between the realms of the living and the dead, until my presence had stirred it from its slumber. "You can free me," the figure whispered into my mind, its voice an urgent plea. "Find the hidden room, and release me from this eternal torment." The room seemed to spin around me as I absorbed the figure's words. It was entrusting me with a task that could break the cycle of its suffering, but the weight of that responsibility was almost suffocating. The door creaked open behind me, and a rush of cold air swept through the room. I turned to see the figure fading, its form dissolving into the darkness. The whisper lingered for a moment before fading away, leaving me standing alone in the moonlit room. Determined to uncover the truth, I spent days exploring Crescent Manor, searching for any signs of a hidden room. I scoured every corner, every crevice, and every forgotten space, driven by a sense of purpose that refused to waver. It was as if the figure's presence had intertwined with my own, urging me forward. Finally, one evening, as I tapped on the walls in the hallway, I heard a hollow sound. My heart raced as I pressed against the panel, feeling it give way beneath my touch. A hidden door swung open, revealing a narrow passage that led deeper into the heart of the house. As I ventured forth, the air grew colder, and the whisper returned, guiding me with its haunting melody. The passage opened into a small chamber, illuminated by an otherworldly light. And there, in the center of the room, lay a faded portrait of the figure, the same haunting eyes staring back at me. With trembling hands, I reached out and touched the portrait, my fingers brushing against the canvas. In that moment, a surge of energy enveloped me, and the figure's presence seemed to surround me. Its essence mingled with mine, and I felt a sense of release, a weight lifting from my shoulders. The room grew brighter, and I closed my eyes as a rush of emotions flooded my senses. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, it was over. The room returned to its former state, the portrait now a mere piece of artwork. I stepped out of the hidden chamber, the weight of the figure's presence no longer pressing upon me. The whisper had ceased, replaced by a silence that seemed to hold a sense of peace. Crescent Manor had been a vessel for the figure's anguish, and in freeing it, I had unburdened both of us. As I lay in bed that night, I felt a profound stillness in the air. The moonlight filtered through the curtains, casting gentle patterns on the walls. Sleep finally embraced me, and as I drifted into dreams, I couldn't help but wonder if the figure had found the peace it had long sought. In the heart of Hollowbrook, the old Victorian house stood as a monument to a past that had been laid to rest. The whispering shadows had been silenced, replaced by the echoes of a story that had found its resolution. Crescent Manor had been my haven, my journey, and my salvation from a haunting that had transcended time itself.